So, it's been raining all week. It's raining now. It's probably going to be raining for some of tomorrow. It's not Friday. Friday is when there's supposed to be a storm. So, tomorrow is just a storm and wandering cloud. Anyway, I work tomorrow. Unless they fire me, which could be possible. I worked a job this is officially my second week, but I started last Thursday, so it was like halfway through the week that I started, so almost 2 weeks. No, 1.5. Anyway, actually, yeah, today's Thursday, so 1 week. Anyway, it's been a busy week. I have used my voice, realized it's not durable like other people's voices are. I have to drink, I have to stop, I have to start, It makes me think if it were a real job, I would have been fired anyways for not being able to just do it, just be a robot. More and more, you find yourself being pressured to be a robot, but we haven't stepped into the next century yet, where robots are going to be amongst everyone looking like a person, but actually a robot. Anyway, that would sort of psych you out, I guess, if they made robots fit for relationships. Currently, they're suitable for job roles, but you don't know what the future will hold. Anyway, back to, yeah, the job's no good, really. I put in like heaps of effort, heaps of time, and ended up with $30. I'm not going to complain about $30, but the company does expect you to work on their phones all day. So if I weren't, they would fire me. Saying that, any spare money is money, but it's nothing for me to go on. I don't want to live in the country with so and so. They want all these stupid things. They want a toilet that recycles toilet water and turns it into energy and stuff to fuel their house. And I think it turns it into some usable water. And I'm like thinking, that's really, it's good that you want to be sustainable and want to be good for the environment. That's just too good. I mean, when you're recycling toilet water, can't let that go down the drain. Heaps of people will be saying, oh, what do you know? It's probably blah, blah this and blah, blah that, but it sounds kind of gross. Anyway, so another facet of not wanting to actually follow them to wherever they want to go. I think it's going to be like a 6 to 8 months affair, depending on the weather. It just has to have bad weather, and they'll be like crawling back to my other relative's house and be like, oh, I don't have anything, you have to start again. I didn't know where they're going, but it's not really where I want to go, so. Anyway, none of these jobs are really doing it for me. So, I'm just plodding along. But I just want to jump ship and go all over again. If I could buy this house, I might buy it, but it's a bit of a rundown old house. It's probably originally hand-built or something, but it's a house. I mean, when you realize it's a house, it's okay, but I just find it very difficult to live in places. You just want to keep something that you know is okay, and this house is okay. It's not perfect. If you had enough money and could build a new house, I would say that would probably make the whole living thing a better idea, but I don't have that much money. I don't even have a house to buy half this house, so I just wish I could get a break somehow, so that life isn't this impossible feat which I'm totally failing at. So and that's what it sort of usually feels like. Like, everyone thinks, well, surely, things will work out. And it's like, when they don't, they're like telling you you're not looking, you're not trying hard enough or whatever. And you're like, you just think, some things are made for some people and other things are made for other people. I mean, I've got my roots, and they're all these hopeless, going nowhere jobs that only lasts for weeks, not months and not years. So you're just thinking, oh, that sucks. So I wouldn't have a clue where I'm going. I haven't even been looking at real estate, just in case I want to try and find myself something cheap. I hate renting, don't want to rent, don't want to buy because I don't know where I want to live. I don't want anything to do with anything. And that's really hard because you have to choose something. If you choose nothing, I'll just end up like I was before, 100% broke and nothing there in the end. Nothing there. So I can't keep reliving with relatives and reforming my bank accounts because they're not going to be there in the future. They shouldn't even be here now. And I tell you, I think if I wasn't living with someone, I don't know, I get these world's most pathetic job positions. I've been like burning at myself in the past week, and I'm like, well, this is the soft version of a job, but it's also the harsher version because real jobs are got some method of ease about it, but the hard thing is just the endurance and working for nothing. Peanuts. And the peanuts are shaved into, I don't know, something smaller. And then you're left with the leftovers. So that's how I feel today. Because I had my base, and then it was shaved. Then I was left with half. And then I pocketed $30 from 24 hours of total 100% input. Just doesn't add up. And it's better than nothing. I mean, I don't have a real job. Makes me think I should keep looking for real jobs. Anyway, so many things are changing this next month. There's some new government thing to help subdivide vaccinated between unvaccinated or whatever. I don't know how long it'll last because everyone keeps wanting the whole vax thing to be over already, because everyone thinks the world's still normal. And once everyone stops making a big deal out of things, everyone can walk around without a mask and not worry about things, because deep inside the world is normal. and just as it was before a TV started blasting off about this new thing, which seemed like a man-made creation, even just a story on the TV, until it started affecting the way we shopped and the way we walked around and stuff. So, it wasn't until then it started kicking in, oh, maybe there's something real, otherwise it was just a silly story on the TV. So, anyway, so that should be interesting, the morph of who is going to be able to access things and who isn't. I would love to say I'll be curled up indoors and living here, but I won't be, because whoever I live with wants to go to the country and they don't want to keep this house and they want to sell this house, and they won't sell it for me for half price or more than half price. So they want to get their money's worth and go running around, and they're going to run into the same trouble they've run before when they've run into exactly the same spot. They'll realize it floods in the right season, it gets impossible to live there, and maybe the rescue people who rescues them off the top of their house after they get frantic and start calling, maybe they'll say, pack your bags, we're banning you from this area because it's too dangerous and you're not equipped for it. That's what happened last time. That's probably what's going to happen this time. And what are they going to do? They're going to run to a relative who has a couple of houses to themselves, and they're going to live with them. And I'm like thinking, what am I going to do? I don't really want to be a third wheel, because they totally space out. They stop a car in the middle of the road just because it's flooding, expect the car to protect from the flood. Other people have flood-proof cars. It's a make of car. It's a car that's been protected so it doesn't allow water inside. And so they're going la 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 in a car that has absolutely no protection. And they're like going, well, do I want to sit in a car with this person and wait for them, and be like this double dare? And I'm like, no, I don't want to go there and experience any of that. You have to outswim snakes. You get chucked off a mountain just because someone else is thinking you're the third wheel. No, seriously, I was chucked off a cliff because it was flooded and there was a heap of water at the bottom of the cliff, and I fell into the water. Snakes were all around. I had to swim. I swam and swam, and ended up in the middle of a farm in the middle of the valley. So that's a true story. It sounds ridiculous, but it actually happened. So, that flood, I know the floodwaters are there, and I don't feel like facing a flood, facing snakes, swimming around, meeting horrible people, just living near someone who wants to have this nutty farm which recycles everything. Like I said, I don't really, it's not the farmhouse ideal. It's just, the ideal of living on the farm. It's like, maybe I'm just not a farm person, but I just think, oh, that would suck. And not really that interested. Anyway, that's my problem next month, and I could be bothered realizing, hey, maybe this house won't be here in another month or two. Hey, it takes more than 2 weeks to get a rental. I don't know.